calls. Teachers have moved on online. Government, lot of functions have moved online. Lot of transactions are happening digital. Digital commerce has taken up in a big way. Digital payments today, India is by far the largest player in the world, miles ahead of the rest. I think this single movement of this single crisis, I will say, has while it has created so much of negative impact on the economy, on the lives, livelihood, but one thing it has demonstrated is that the power of telecom, or the power of communications, or the power of connectivity can actually help us to overcome, even the worst of the crisis. With that, I will move on to my presentation. Actually, I was asked that, to make some points on what we are seeing. Let me just see. I will. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. Okay. So I will just share with you what we are seeing, what is happening in the world as far as 5G is concerned, and just share with you some of the use cases. A lot of it you have already heard, but something interesting which is there. I will just move on to what is happening as we speak. See, the 5G started sometime around more than 2 years back. As of June 2021, this is the latest information. 169 5G networks are live around the world. Today, if you go and look for 5G devices, you will find more than 703 5G commercial devices are available. Our estimation is that by end of 2021, almost 25% of the population, global population, the 5G will get rolled out there. It doesn't mean that they are all on the network. I will request others to be kindly muted, so that I'm hearing an echo. Thank you. Then, if you see the monthly data traffic, this is again just from South Korea. Just from South Korea, you will find that it's around 26 GB per month is the monthly mobile traffic, and we in South Korea again we have witnessed an increase of 50% of the traffic on the 5G network. As far as Ericsson alone is concerned, around 92 live networks we are running around the world. When I say live networks, I'm regularly asked what does it mean. It basically means uh, mm, networks where the spectrum has been allocated to the operator, where the operator is actually charging, and consumers are paying for this service. And third, the consumer is actually using a commercial 5G device. That's it. And you will see this is around 44 countries. Of course, we are around 143 agreements. That means the remaining places the network is ongoing, and more than 120,000 sites have been deployed, and this is ongoing. Of course, including 7 standalone live networks. Now, some of the common technologies or the well-known technologies which are helping to roll out 5G is obviously the 5G ready radios and basebands. This is transforming because this is in a new spectrum band. In 5G, we are using new technologies. One of them is the most popular one is the dynamic spectrum sharing, where if you see in the non-standalone architecture, where non-standalone basis which is getting deployed presently, you will find that the operators are deploying 5G using both the existing 4G spectrum and the new 5G spectrum, and this is actually helping them to even utilize the capex that has been deployed. Then you are seeing carrier aggregation technology, again where we are using both mid band and low band to integrate an offer. And then you are also looking at a very dual mode core, the 5G cloud core, because most of the core on 5G is actually getting deployed in the cloud, and there you are again tightly interworking both the 2G 4G core and the 5G core to offer a seamless experience to the consumer. Now, what are the main use cases that we are seeing? The main use cases that we are looking at is the massive IoT and critical IoT, and enhanced mobile broadband and fixed wireless access. I will just first focus on the enhanced mobile broadband. Enhanced mobile broadband, just as it explains, today we are all using mobile broadband in our day-to-day communication. All our e-commerce transactions, streaming, all our OTT calls, video calls are all using mobile broadband. In 5G, you're going to see an extremely enhanced version of that. And if you have been following the media reports recently, in one of the 5G trials which DOT has approved, which we are doing with our customers, in this case Bharti in Gurgaon, Cyber Hub, we had almost shown speed exceeding 800 Mbps plus kind of speeds on the 5G trial. Uh, the next very powerful use case, which we believe will be extremely relevant even to an Indian market, especially like India, is the fixed wireless access. As you all are aware that in India, our broadband penetration is mainly through mobile, and our fixed wireless penetration, our fixed broadband penetration is very low because of very high costs, and also there is a lot of issues relating to permissions, damage of fiber, and a lot of other issues, due to which we are unable to take the fixed broadband to the level as much as a country we would desire. Fixed wireless access is a great use case and an opportunity for us to bridge that gap in 5G. We are seeing this getting aggressively rolled out, not just in countries where they do not have a fixed broadband, but even in countries where we almost see 80-90% fiber penetration. Even there they are using it as a fixed wireless access. With fixed wireless access, consumers will be able to enjoy broadband speeds upwards of 300 mbps in their sitting in their house. And especially in these kind of environments, when today we are all locked down in our home, such kind of infrastructure and such kind of service is being sought after by users. On When I move into the massive use cases, if you find, I explained the enhanced mobile broadband, you'll primarily find that it is largely consumer driven, home enterprises, that space. But once you move into the massive machine type communication, you will find that you are looking at smart meter, smart agriculture, logistics, fleet management, tracking, etc., where you'll be using the massive MNT. And then you also have the critical mission to communication, where we are talking about industrial application control, remote manufacturing, remote training, traffic safety and control, remote surgeries. Here, I'd like to just give a disclaimer that whenever we talk about 5G, the most well-known cases, use case is always, we talk about a driverless car and a, surgeonless or a doctorless surgery or a remote surgery. My input here is that, this will be possibly the ultimate form of use cases when 5G completely gets rolled out, when we have the best in class of 5G there. Till then, I think we should look at the other use cases which is getting rolled out around the world, and I thought some of them I'll share with you in this presentation. This is just to show how the penetration of enhanced mobile broadband and fixed wireless access is happening around the world. Paucity of time, I'll just be skipping some of the slides. I'm regularly asked this question, why do you need 5G? Will the consumer need so much? I give a simple example. All of us have been using mobile communication for the last 15 years. Just imagine how our usage of mobile communication has changed, and if this is any indication of the way how you have used in the past, it will surely give an indication of the future, of how we are going to translate. Just to show a possibly a 720 HD streaming video on demand, the kind of data you needed to download that, and then you look tomorrow if you want to do a AR VR kind of calls and so on. And this will be today, for example, today we do most of our digital financial transactions sitting from home, but in some cases we have to go to the bank. But tomorrow, if you have a facility to do a AR VR call sitting from your home, imagine a lot of our senior citizens and a lot of people who are possibly at a physical disadvantage to physically move around. They can actually sit in the confines of their home, make a AR VR call. You can actually discuss with the bank teller or the bank manager, and your financial transaction is done. You don't have to physically go. Just a simple example. Second example which I can think of is that for a lot of working parents today, when they have to attend, say, a parent teacher meeting and all, most of them always try to, like, I am giving my own example, everyone tries to do on the weekend. When you do on the weekend, what happens is that while it's a flexibility for the parent, it is very difficult for the teacher to cover all the parents in one go, right? So the teacher is then forced to work on Saturdays and Sundays. But imagine if the AR VR things come in, tomorrow you can actually, today you are already doing on a video, on an OTT video call, but tomorrow in AR and VR you could actually do these calls almost in a person to person contact, when the other person can almost very close to see you and feel you in a AR VR concert. But then you see the kind of data that you are going to consume to do that. So these are some of the examples, and these are some of the use cases that we anticipate. We are already seeing some of them in the labs. Some of them are already getting rolled out, which is happening. Virtual reality is already in play. Esports is one area where we are already seeing huge amount of technology getting used. Again, this is one simple example of how using a 360-degree a wearable, you are going to consume data. A small example is your shopping. This is what we believe in the next 4-5 years will come, where consumers will actually be able to buy a product. They will wear a device. The device will give you all the information of that. And second is, in a tactile internet, you can actually sit in again in your home. Today, for example, when you're doing a e-commerce shopping, you actually select the product. Let's say you buy a vegetable or you buy a flour, or let me give you a phrase, you are buying, say, a perfume, a very expensive perfume you are buying on an e-commerce portal. There is no way for you to experience the perfume, right? You go by the brand, you go by your past experiences, but you cannot experiment a new fragrance or a new brand because you do not have the experience of it. So normally you go by your past preferences. But what we believe in the time to come is that you will allow the tactile internet, will allow you to enjoy the sensory feeling of. So you will be able to smell the perfume, you will be able to feel the fruit or the flower in your hand when you are actually shopping. So imagine the kind of transformation that you will do. It will bring into each one of our lives. And this, so this is again an example of security and monitoring. This is a business case in a large stadium. Esports is again one area where we are seeing a huge transformation happening, and we believe this will be a huge takeoff in India, especially among the gamers community and all, who will actually invest in, who will take higher ARPU connections. They will pay more to operators to get these kind of connections to enjoy the virtual gaming experiences. Now let me move on to some live sports. If you see today, when you watch those of you who have, say, an OTT connection, and if you are watching the ongoing Euro soccer, you will find that you can actually, not only you can watch the match, but whenever you want, you can go and check the goals on your demand. Earlier, what used to happen, if you watch on a television channel, even that's an option to us. You watch what the operator, what the channel is actually showing to you. They occasionally run these highlights. Same thing in cricket or any other game. But today in the OTT, they actually run a ticker and will say, okay, you just want to see the goals of the match. What we believe is that once you move into the 5G era, one, you will be able to enjoy the game from multi-angle tracking. Today, the way you watch a match, let's say, for example, I am a fan of Virat Kohli, right? uh, and I want to see him all through the match, right? But what happens is that my view is restricted to what the cameraman on the ground is showing or what the channel is beaming. But tomorrow, let's say there is the sports channel is able to give you view of every player. So you pick your player, you watch him play, right? So when Virat Kohli is batting, you will watch him bat. When he is in the field, you will watch him from his perspective. And the second is that today the cameraman shows you the game, but you do not see how the game is being seen by the player themselves. Tomorrow, you can so for example, when Messi is running with the ball, literally you are actually moving with him. So that's the kind of customization or user experience which is going to come into sports. And we believe that this is going to be one of the major use case which is going to drive not just 5G consumption, but a huge amount of innovation in the game of sports entertainment and all. We have already seen stadiums in other parts of the world they are upgrading the infrastructure inside the stadiums, putting massive MIMO and putting extensive equipments to ensure that when you have 70,000 crowd inside the stadium, everyone is able to uh, not only enjoy the game, but record it, play it, and then share it with their friends outside. So imagine now, if you have 70,000 people inside the stadium, everyone is doing a live transmission to their friends and family, using this OTT and other medium, then the kind of performance that you need inside the stadium. Just one example. Okay, we have seen enough of this VR based entertainment. Now let me move on to the business cases, because I think this is very relevant, where we are seeing. See, our estimate, I'll request again users here, those on the call, to kindly go and keep reading the Ericsson mobility report. I keep regularly sharing with those whom I know, but that's an exception. That's an extremely good report released twice a year for you to know how this industry is expected to adopt 5G. Our assessment is that almost 30 to 40% of once 5G gets completely rolled out, 30 to 40% of an operator's revenues are actually going to come from the 5G on the business. So 5G will have a significant business play, unlike say 3G or 4G, which had a predominantly consumer play. I'm not saying that industries don't use 4G, they use 4G, but the way they are going to use in 5G is completely transformational. It is going to transform the way they do the business. And now just move into some example. We are already aware of this 5G in manufacturing. Some of the new factories, most of the new factories that today that are coming up anywhere in the world are all 5G. They are all what we call as 5G factories or 5G ready factories. Every equipment, literally every screwdriver, every nut bolt in that factory is accounted for, and they are connected. The second example is again this, and these are all already in action. So these are not use cases, or I'm not talking about something which is a science fiction or which will come. These are already operational. The second is that this autonomous driving trucks, this we are seeing in some parts of the world. So in this, what typically happens is that, see, please understand, in a very advanced economy, the cost of a driver to operate a truck is an exception, is a very high item. So if you want to control your transportation cost, that is one. Second is that, unlike here in many parts of the world, they're extremely stringent on who is allowed to drive what kind of truck. So for example, if you are an experienced driver who drives say hazardous material like say chemicals, oil, petroleum products, or any other inflammable substances, the amount of transportation the company or the producer can do is actually limited by the number of trained drivers that he have. So if you do not have so many drivers, you can't move so many trucks and so on and so forth. So now what we are doing along with say Enride and others is that, can you look at remote 5G truck operation? That is one. Second, we are also looking at that, can you have a say 3 or 4 trucks connected? It is almost like a train with one driver in the front is actually driving all the 4 trucks in unison. This we are using, this is already in place in some parts of the world. Mining is one area where it is getting used. Similarly, if I move into the smart manufacturing, which I explained, port operations already operational in many parts of the world. This is an example of a port in China, but now we have ports operational in Italy, we have ports operation in Europe, other parts of the world where ports are getting transformed. uh, Again, just to give you an example, the question what we are asking, why does it matter port? See, now I'll give you an example, say, of an airport. See, today, for example, let's say, for example, if I take, say, Mumbai, the difference between Delhi and Bombay airport, again, just as an example, this is not to comment on any particular airport. See, Delhi is able to expand because it has a lot of land, right? So Delhi, you're expanding the airport, you're building new terminals, you'll come with new runways. Now, let me suddenly look at an airport like Bombay, you have a restriction of land. The same challenge happened in Paris airport. This is again a live example, where what the industry did is that, it is extremely expensive to build a complete terminal with a new runway, what say Heathrow has done or other airports have done. So now for Paris to be a competitive airport with other airports in the world, because every large airport tries to be, what is called a transshipment airport, or where people come and they catch other connecting flights. Now for that, you will have to give a very fast turnaround of the aircraft. So your aircraft has to land, it has to unload passengers, unload cargo, unload the baggage, load the new passengers, load the new cargo, come out of the runway and push off. That's what airport simply does. Now your efficiency is depending on how quickly can you turn around the aircraft, right? It comes in, you unload, load, and you fly off. Now if it takes you more time, the only alternate is that you create multiple runways, you have many terminals, so that you can ensure. But Paris had the difficulty. So what the industry did is that, now in Paris, what happens is that when what is tried, now tested, it's already operational, is that when an aircraft lands, and the moment it comes off the what is called an active runway, it remotely passes on all the flight data, the engine data, everything to the flight maintenance crew, the airline maintenance crew. They extract all the information from the aircraft remotely using 5G. They analyze all of it, and by the time the aircraft actually comes to the aero bridge, you have the engineers ready with all the necessary tools, spares, anything what they have to do on that. So what happens is that by the time you unload the luggage, you unload the passengers, and you are making they clean up the aircraft, and you load the fresh
Subratji,
luggage. And
one
yes,
minute more.
yes, so it will help you. So suddenly now your planes are able to turn around much faster. Just one example. This is an example of our own factories which we are modernizing around the world, and we are. This is putting, as we say, eating our own technology. Proof is in the pudding. We have put it in our own industry, and we are seeing a massive transformation, efficiency in the production in our own factories. This is an example of a smart factory. Specifically to in the Orissa case, I have shown you the port. One more example I will just move is the mine. See, Orissa as a state is known for its mining, and what we are seeing is that whether it is Australia, whether it is Sweden or Canada, some of the large mining countries, we are seeing a massive deployment of 5G inside the mines. Just to give you a small example of how 5G is getting used, one, they are using this autonomous trucks or remote control trucks, or what we call this autonomous excavators. What this basically does is that every time you do a controlled explosion in a mine, you release lot of gases, dust and all, due to which your miners can't go in, and you create an environment which is unsafe. But if you have an autonomous excavator which is remotely controlled from a far distance, then the excavators can go in and start the mining, and you don't lose those 7-10 days for the mine to become safe for humans to enter. One example. The second thing is this smart rock bolts. Let me see if I can show you that example. Yes, this is the smart rock bolt. I hope the slide is visible. See, in this is a very nice example. So this bolt is actually a smart bolt. See, what this bolt does is that you actually drill these bolts in the underground mine, right? And as you keep on doing your excavation, as you keep on doing controlled explosion inside the mine, this bolt will keep on recording how strongly it is inbuilt into it, right? The sensor will keep on capturing the data. Is it getting loose from the wall to in which it drilled? If it gets loosened, then the trigger is sent to the mine and the company and everyone, that okay, now the structural efficiency of the mine will come at a risk, and you need to take measures. So what you see is that by putting this devices, you are able to increase your efficiency and productivity by a huge percentage, and these are all in a private LTE network, to ensure that your mines remain safer. And if you see, this is already operational in Boliden mine in North Sweden. This is along with Telia and other partners. Just an example. Mr. Prusti, with this, I will end my presentation. I'm open to any questions.
Yeah. So thank you, Subratji. I think you should share your presentation and also email address so that I will be sharing with all participants.
Absolutely.
And I will request the last speaker because Panchanan Sahu, presently served as Project Director, Bhubaneswar Smart City Project from Quadgen Wireless Solutions Private Limited, having 17 years of experience in various transport planning and execution throughout India in various telecom operators. Previously served with Huawei, Telecom, Reliance Jio, Vodafone and Arcom. So I'll request Panchanan, because it is already time is up. So you please finish your talk in 10 minutes so that by 2 o'clock people can go to lunch. Thank you.
Thanks, Subrat sir. Thanks for giving me a chance to participate in this technology meet. So I'm sharing my screen. I think it's visible to you.
It's visible. Please can continue.
Yeah. Thanks. So as you know, Bhubaneswar Smart City was selected as the #1 smart city in the year 2016, while the smart city project was rolled out throughout India. So I'll cut short the whole presentation in 10 minutes. So let's start with the. So Bhubaneswar Smart City. having comprises 8 tracks and 38 subsystems. So in the further slides, I'll go through each tracks and sub tracks so that the people will know what other things are deployed throughout the Bhubaneswar smart city. So first is smart traffic management system. So traffic management is plays a vital role in a smart city, because now the traffic is increasing day by day, traffic violations and many theft incidents happening throughout the city. So in Bhubaneswar Smart City, there are 30 such locations who have deployed ANPR cameras and traffic violation systems, where it can catch the traffic violation system, your lane violation and wrong route monitoring. All such kind of things can be monitored through this violation system. So there are several types of technology we are deploying, like traffic violation detection system. ATCC is a system where you can find out the theft vehicles, your traffic violated vehicles can be monitored throughout the city. Okay. Next is your smart tracking and management system. Everybody, more bus services has been rolled out in the year 2018 throughout the city. So basically, this AVL tracking and scheduling, incident management, harsh braking, route violation, speed violation, and panic button, all such kind of things has been monitored from the centralized monitoring system through our centralized applications. Okay, and the benefits of this tracking system is safe and comfortable, reliable, and journey, increased accountability, better fleet management, enhanced scheduling and planning, information accuracy, and enhanced security, and highly automated system. Next is smart parking system. So smart parking, sensor-based marking has been deployed throughout the city, and it is operational in between Sisubhapan to Rajmahal, and we are trying to extend these services throughout the city, though it is commercial not available, but it is under testing phase. So there are magnetic sensors deployed throughout the parking lots, deployed in Smart Janpath, where you can book your parking through your mobile application, pay your parking fees through a mobile application only. So no need to wait for the parking the coordinator will come to you and charge you the parking fees. So those kind of things will be avoided through this smart parking management system. And we have also deployed 2 multi-level car parking modules in one is at Rajmahal Square, you can say Market Building. Another is at Saeed Nagar, which is to be operational very soon, so that the major traffic will be avoided in Unit 1 and Rajmahal areas, and as well as in Saeed Nagar area. Next is your smart response system. So in smart response, we have deployed CCTV fixed cameras and PTZ camera to monitor the city surveillance throughout 24/7 by a centralized monitoring system. So smart analytics system has been utilized to auto track the vehicles, digital signatures, and your monitoring the vehicle number plates. Next is smart governance and smart connect. Bhubaneswar Smart City Data Center has been hosted with around 52 websites, basically for citizen centrings like e-governance applications, your municipality, all the tax collection, your bill payments, your marriage registration, all such kind of things has been hosted by Bhubaneswar Smart City for the benefit of Bhubaneswar City people. And along with that, smart classroom, Anganwadi, smart Anganwadis, e-health already deployed through by Bhubaneswar Smart City. Next is the communication network. Communication network plays the vital roles or deployed for the smart city operation. So like telecom, we have deployed 680 kilometers of fiber optic network throughout the Bhubaneswar smart city. With architecture like core and distribution and access ring. Core ring is basically used for the data pumping of distribution links, and distribution links are connected to our access link, where all the smart elements throughout the city connected to our access rings. So our design is core ring having a capacity of 40G can be upgraded to 100G. Then your distribution ring having a capacity of 10G can be upgradable to 40G. And access ring is having a capacity of 1G, connecting all the smart elements throughout the network. Next is city-wide Wi-Fi system. Bhubaneswar Smart City designed to deploy 1800 Wi-Fi access points throughout the city, basically the malls, educational institute, government offices, and a high footfalls area. So 518 hotspot location has been identified to provide the Wi-Fi services to the citizens of Bhubaneswar, where first 50 MB access is free. Further, you can charge by minimal amount, by like 10 rupees, 20 rupees, and 30 rupees recharge voucher. You can access the internet through Bhubaneswar Smart City Wi-Fi network. The speed is from 2 Mbps to 10 Mbps throughput throughout the city. Next is the vital role of this Bhubaneswar Smart City project is the Intelligent Operation Center, which we told as ICOMC. Basically, the 40-seater Intelligent Operation Center monitor the smart city network throughout the 24/7 and all the incident management reporting structure and all the reporting to the nodal officers has been happening from here. Next is a multi-project, multi-OEM dashboard. So Bhubaneswar Smart City has deployed the OEM dashboard for all the services running or provided by a smart city for incident management, tracking, and reporting of all the services. Existing and future integration. So Bhubaneswar Smart City already deployed GIS, location analytics, social intelligence, vehicle location, business intelligence, mobility, fuel engine, IoT platform, dash collaboration, big data platform, correlation, your surveillance of PA and SCV, adaptive traffic and counter classification, traffic enforcement system, ANP and RLBD cameras already used. E-challan is the one of the plays a crucial role for the whole city. Now the UAT is going on with the RTO team. It will be live very soon, so no need to have a manual challan. All the violators will get the e-challan in their home. And there are various message and sideboards already deployed throughout the city, like a digital messaging system. So other services like environmental sensors, CCTV camera, Wi-Fi, smart pole, ECB, PA system, BMD, ATCS, water, electricity, and waste management is already part of the smart city system, and it is already monitored from the central ICOMC. These are the certain project deployment and safety procedures maintained by Bhubaneswar Smart City while deploying the project and the data center operation, which is already highlighted here. This is the inauguration of Bhubaneswar Smart City project in the year November 2018 by our Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Naveen Patnaik. Thank you for giving me a chance to represent the status of Bhubaneswar Smart City. Thank you.
Thank you, Panchananji. I think your presentation was short, but it was full of information. I think each slide can be further described in 10 to 15 minutes. So you have told so many things in a very simple way. So now we are coming to the end of this program. I think I request all of you to make your video on so that we will have a combined photograph. Maximum participants was 40. Now we have 24 participants. So I thank all the 24 participants. There are some things to do after this technology meet. Number one is we want to publish a technology meet proceeding. So I request all the speakers to give a 300 words document, summary document that can be published in the proceeding. This should have some photos, maybe 2 to 3 photos, and all should be in the Word document, so that this can be published in the newsletter, number one. Number two, I request all of you to give your WhatsApp number, so that we have already a WhatsApp group, and we will add that WhatsApp group. That is called, we have two groups, one is TII group and one is TSG group. One is technology and skill group, and another is the telecom service provider, internet service provider, and infrastructure providers. I will request Software Technology Park of India to kindly share all the contact numbers, so that the TSP, ISP, and IP can visit their labs, can go to the Center of Excellence, and there should be a frequent interaction, day-to-day interaction with all the stakeholders. And we will be conducting this technology meet every month. So in every month we will be publishing one proceeding newsletter. In the proceeding newsletter, I will request all of the speakers to give their photos and also a short biodata. I think you have already given, and 300 words briefing, so that all these things can be published in the proceeding. And once email address, contact number, and all these things will be available, we can go to the next step, because we are not startups. We are all not startups. We are all companies. So not only the companies, but the not only startups, but the companies also want to explore the virtual reality, and also the Electropreneur Park. And by joining those Electropreneur Park and virtual reality centers, all the stakeholders can be benefited. I request particularly the big telecom service provider, big four telecom service provider, and all the internet service providers to join us. Join us means not in the launch, but to join us in this effort, so that we can do this in sincere manner every month. And also I request all the academia members like Dr. Sridharan. I also request the academia members who are associated with the STPI to constantly be in touch with us, and they can give their article also, so that we don't want to make a very voluminous proceeding. We want to have maximum 4 to 6 pages of proceeding, so that it will be handy, and you can read on this, not in a voluminous newsletter. It will not be voluminous newsletter, so that we should keep track of what we are doing, because there are a lot of webinars are being conducted, a lot of things are being discussed, but those are not benefiting the stakeholders. So our utmost request to all the stakeholders is that this webinar should be fruitful discussion, and from this discussion, India and the Indian customers, Indian consumers, and particularly the Indian companies should be benefited, along with the other stakeholders and academia, because they are the vast pool of knowledge resources. They should also try to bridge the gap wherever possible, because we are not tracking everything, becoming we are in the Department of Telecom. We are seeing the picture from the very top level. We don't go to the each and every individual research level. We don't know also. So it is not possible for us to go to the each and individual company and what they are doing. So if we can give a summary of things that Electropreneur Park is doing, and what the AR/VR lab is doing, and how these things can be incorporated in our TSP business model, or in ISP business model, or our infrastructure provider business model, then that can be circulated, because too much research oriented things are not of our interest, because only research things will not be benefited for us. We want practical use cases. The practical use cases that will be dealt with should be clearly brought out, and these use cases will help win-win situation. It will help the startup, and will also help the telecom service providers, ISP, internet service provider, and infrastructure providers. And this newsletter will be a digital newsletter. It will not be printed in hard copy. So I will request everybody to send me through email address, because I think after closing this chat box will be down. So you please send through my email address. I have already given my email address. My email address is subratk.prusti@nic.in, and I have also given my WhatsApp number, that is 901-313-8270. I have listened that some of the unknown people have joined this group. We have some 40 participants. Those who are not known to me, please share your WhatsApp number, please share your contact details, and please share all the Word documents through email, please, and also if possible by WhatsApp, so that within 7 days we will be publishing this newsletter, and this newsletter will be available to all with all the photos, all the documents, and because I have also made a presentation, but I think we are all hungry. It is already 2:10. So instead of showing the presentation, I will request everybody so that they will also help us in our next technology meet. That will also may happen in 5th of August or in some other date. We will communicate to you. And I think we have a lot to learn from Dr. Sridharan. He has some more things to show us. Even Panchanan, that Bhubaneswar Smart City, we will having some use cases. Similarly, the Electropreneur Park can consider some fruitful use cases which will be implemented by telecom service providers, because we are not, we don't have time to go each and every use cases. Similarly, the virtual reality lab, they can also bring up 1 or 2 use cases which can be dealt with by our TSPs, ISP and IP, because TSP, ISP, IP have also very limited time. So if some use cases are very valuable to them, then through technology meet, that will be discussed in detail, and those things can be replicated throughout India. We thank Dr. Kishore Babu, who has joined despite his busy schedule from Sanchar Bhavan, New Delhi. I thank our senior DDG, BK Naik sir, who has also spared his valuable time. I thank Baraprasad sir, who is DDG Technology. I thank Loba Mishra madam. I thank Panda sir. I thank Subrat Mitra of Ericsson, Panchanan Sahu, Dr. Sridharan, and I thank all the speakers. I think I have mentioned all of them. I also thank all the participants who are, despite the lunch break, despite hungry, they are now listening to us. I think we have now 20 participants, but 20 participants, all these 20 participants are should be turned as excellent listeners. And I think if you have any questions and any queries, we are always touched 24/7 through WhatsApp and also through email address. I think all our big telecom service providers like Reliance Jio, Airtel, BSNL and Vodafone, they are all in the audience, but they have not told anything. So I think I will end here by giving thanks again to all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you all the participants.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. If anybody has to say anything,
thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. We would like also to have Mr. Mitra's number for getting in touch, and we invite you all to visit the Electropreneur Park facility and STP Elite building at Kotapatna.
Please share all to email to me. So in the newsletter, I will publish everything and I will circulate to everyone. So that, and I will request Ericsson to give a special interest to Odisha, because as you know, Odisha is not a rich state, it is a poor state with rich resources. So I think Ericsson should think developing something with Electropreneur Park, so that I think Odisha can also be benefited. And all these email address, contact numbers, I will be circulating on behalf of this technology meet. If anyone has to say something, then they can say, or we will close this meeting here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Prusti, for organizing this webinar very nicely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. I am ending this meeting. Thank you very much.